starting with the new work permit rule, and then we can go on to discuss the latest in terms of international travel. And then we can talk about some other important information you should know about. Okay, let's get started. I hope everyone is doing great. I'm sharing my screen on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. If you guys can see me and hear me, just drop USA in the comment, post USA in the comment box, or the flag of the United States in the comment section. Okay, I cannot see anybody posting yet, so I'm not sure if Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and TikTok can hear me. If you guys can hear me, please drop USA, and then we have the signal to go. We'll be taking your questions as well, so feel free to drop them. Questions are for educational purposes only. It's not legal advice. So if obviously you're looking for legal advice, then you should contact us on our office line so that we can give you personalized legal advice based on your circumstances and after reviewing your situation in a bit more detail than what we can do practically on a live video session with everybody here. Okay. All right. So I have the go ahead on YouTube. I don't see anything on LinkedIn. Okay, I do see. I'm sorry. I see something on Instagram. Okay. I think we can get started now. Let's share this screen. So we're going to be using a few document sources, and all these sources I usually make sure they are as much as possible from the US government directly, from the federal agencies directly, so that we have the information directly from the source, not from newspapers where people or news articles where people can quote and misinterpret, right? So this is directly from DHS, Department of Homeland Security. Let me go here. Okay, let's do this. All right. So on October 29, 2025, which happened to be my birthday, DHS released this bombshell news. Very unfortunate situation where they published an interim final rule to end automatic extension of employment authorization. So if you have a work permit application and you filed to renew your application, it was a timely filed application, usually in the same category as you previously had. So for example, if you had let's say you filed a work permit application based on, for instance, your pending asylum application, or based on your green card application, or based on your VAWA pending application, and you timely filed it, meaning you filed the renewal before your work permit expired, then based on the backlog, USCIS's own backlog, they would send you a receipt notice showing an extension of your work permit, and this would allow you to go on and continue working despite the fact that your work permit was expired. Your employer could use that extension notice to allow you to continue working. So it was previously about half of that time, and then Biden's administration extended it to 540 days. 540 days, which is about a year and a half of extension, which is really good because there is just so much backlog with USCIS that that extension was warranted, and it would give the chance for people not to lose their jobs, because sometimes you would apply for your work, you would renew your work permit 3 months or 4 months before it expired, and it could take them 8 months, 9 months, 12 months just to give you a new one. And so if you filed your renewal application for your work permit 4 months before it expired, and they would bring your new one after 1 year, then within the time, then if your employer is someone that takes note or keeps track of this, and they'll tell you, can you get a new work permit? If you don't have it, you cannot work. Then you are going to be screwed for the next few months, because usually when they lay you off for the, because you don't have a work permit, by the time you get a work permit, the job may not be there waiting for you. And so you may be out of work for several months until you're able to find a new one. So this would clearly disadvantage many people, which is why Biden's administration decided that they were going to extend the work permit, automatic extension. I wanted to give the exact number of days before it was. So previously, okay, let's see. It's current. It before the final rule that said that there's no longer any extension. It was increased from a certain number of days. I forget the number of days. I was trying to pull that up here, but I wanted us to just run through this fast, so I didn't put all of these down. Okay, I'm sure I'm going to find it very soon. Let's go on. So now people who filed to renew their work permits on or after October 30th, which was yesterday, they are no longer going to receive an automatic extension of their work permit. And when the rule, it's very interesting that the Trump administration did this, because usually when such rules are going to be published, they would give notice. They would give notice and then say that, okay, well, this is maybe notice of proposed rulemaking. We intend to do this in the next 30 days or next 60 days. And then within that time, the people that could be affected would go on and apply for the work permit and get the automatic extension. But they completely blindsided everybody, announced it the day before, they were ending the rule the next day. And so for those of you who follow us on social media, I made a video, we made some posts sharing that if you could apply online, for those who are eligible, we gave the categories you should immediately apply online as of October 29th, 2025, so that by the time you are done applying online, you'll be able to get a timestamp to show you applied for your extension before the deadline. And so you would then qualify for the 1.5 year period of automatic extension. And so this new rule will not affect you. Unfortunately, many people did not see our video and post, because the Trump administration deliberately did this at the very last minute to give people no chance to recover from what they were trying to do. So the unfortunate situation is that people are going to be out of work. They are going to have periods where they would likely not have work authorization. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you are checking the date your work permit or your EAD expires. And at the very, very minimum, at least 180 days, you should make sure, if your work permit is expiring in June 2026, for instance, on June 30th, 2026, I will start preparing my application November, so that exactly 180 days from when it expires, you can submit your application to make sure that you don't have a gap in your employment status or your ability to be able to work and provide for your family. Okay, I found the number of days. I have the actual interim final rule here, but I decided I'm going to use that. So I have it here. I won't share it with you. It's quite a number of pages. Let me see here. Let me see how many. Yes, 73 pages. We couldn't go through all of that, so I wanted us to use the summarized form. So previously it was 180 days. The extension, they had the automatic extension from 180 days. Then it was increased by the Biden administration to 540 days, 1.5 years. So from 6 months, it went to 1.5 years to allow people, and this was in May 2022. And unfortunately now it's moved from 180 days automatic extension. It went up to 540 days automatic extension of work permit, and now we are down to 0 days. I mean, this is really incredibly unfortunate situation. And we're going to look at the categories of cases that this will affect. And then we can go from there. We can jump on to the next topic very soon. Let's see here. All right. So if you file your application to renew your work permit after October 30th, you will no longer receive an automatic extension, 0 days. It will not be extended at all. So once your work permit expires, that's it. Which is why we are recommending, and USCIS is recommending as well, that you timely renew your work permit by filing a renewal application up to 180 days before your work permit expires. Six months before your work permit expires, you need to make sure you lodge your renewal application. So you have to keep track of your work permit. Don't be too busy to, you're going to work, and then by the time you realize, you pull up your work permit and then you give a horror scream because your work permit is expiring tomorrow and you don't have a new one. And now I'll tell you what, employers are clamping down. They are also verifying. Can we see your work permit? Because nobody wants to be used as an example, a scapegoat. There's a lot of worksite enforcement by ICE. So employers are also stepping up their game. So you want to make sure you are checking these things. If your work permit is expiring in 1 week, even in 2 months, it's a big problem because it's taking USCIS several months to adjudicate and decide on these things. And we hope that because they are aware that there's no extension, hopefully they are going to be, let me take this off. Hopefully the USCIS is going to pay more attention and work fast to make sure that people get their work permits on time once they file. We'll look at how long this is all going to take. Hopefully, Now let's take a look at this advisory notice from American Immigration Lawyers Association. Always really helpful. I picked up some pointers from here. Now, the rule to automatically end the extension of work permits, it does not apply to people who filed their work permit renewals before October 30th. So if you filed your case before October 30th, this should not affect you. And as I already mentioned, the rule will reduce the automatic extension from 540 days to 0 days for any work permit renewals filed after tomorrow. And now this also does not impact people who already have 540 days extension because they already obtained the automatic extension. Here are the impacted categories. We shared the full list of them on our social medias this morning. So look, we have those who have been granted withholding of removal under the work permit category A10. Number 2, people who have been granted TPS, temporary protected status, under category A12, spouse of principal E and L1. Those are categories A17 and A18. And then H4 non-immigrants under category C26. H4 non-immigrants are the spouses of H1B holders. And then we have the asylum application pending under C8. For, it's affecting these people. Pending adjustment of status C9. This includes people who are, you filed a green card application because you're married to a U.S. citizen, or you are the parent of a U.S. citizen, and you've applied for a green card and you've applied for work permits, for instance. Cancellation of removal applicants C10, VAWA self-petitioners C31. All right, so USCIS's release, you have to file 180 days in advance of your work permit renewal. The longer you wait, then it becomes more difficult to get a timely, a decision that is timely or properly adjudicated. Just in the past, people were able to apply for their work permit earlier than 180 days. in advance of the expiration. So even 8 months before your work permit expired, you could apply. But now USCIS is recommending that file 180 days in advance. So we'll look at how they're going to be treating that. Let me go to the impacted categories. Let's just look on our slides that we shared on Instagram this morning, and then we'll just quickly run through the impacted categories for all the people who are going to be, all the people that are going to be impacted by the new rule, which means that your work permit extension will not be automatically renewed if it is filed after October 30th. All right, there you go. Oh, I'm sorry. No, I'm just trying to pull up our Instagram here. I think this is it. Okay, there you go. So work permit renewal applications filed on or after October 30th, 2025 no longer qualify for the 540-day automatic extension. Please note that it's not work permit renewal applications approved. It's those filed. So long as you filed before October 30th, even if it's pending, then you should be able to get the 540-day automatic extension. So as we said, it reduces the automatic extension from 540 days to 0 days for work permit renewals for the following categories that were previously eligible for the extension. So we have the refugee, asylee, N8, N9, citizen of Micronesia, Marshall Islands, Palau, withholding of deportation or removal granted. We have temporary protected status granted. A17, that's the spouse of principal E non-immigrant, and A18, spouse of principal L1 non-immigrant. Then if you have an asylum application pending, you are impacted by this new rule. If you have pending adjustment of status under INA 245, you are impacted. This is spouses of U.S. citizens, parents of U.S. citizens, minor children of U.S. citizens, for instance. Adjustment of status. You're applying for a green card inside the U.S. It can be a spouse of a green card holder. You've applied for adjustment of status, then you've been granted work permit. This applies to you. Then those who have suspension of deportation, the applicants who've been applicants of suspension of deportation, applicants of cancellation of removal, those who have applied for these things in court, special rule cancellation of removal. These are rules to cancel deportation or some types of deportation defense in court. And then we have these other ones, creation of record. This is adjustment of status based on continuous residence since 1972, the registry method, for instance. And then USCIS determined applicant is prima facie for TPS and can receive EAD as a temporary treatment benefit. You are impacted. Section 210 legalization pending I-700 impacted. Section 245A legalization pending I-687 impacted. Life legalization impacted. Spouses of certain H-1B principal non-immigrants with an unexpired I-94 showing H-4 status. As you know, spouses of H-1Bs typically do not receive work permits, but if your H-1B spouse, for instance, has an approved I-140, or you're an H-4, you are an abused H-4, those are some of the exceptions or the categories of spouses of H-1B who can get work permits. They are also impacted. VAWA self-petitioners are also impacted. Okay, so those categories of people are impacted. Now let's go to our next topic for today, which is the new rule concerning international travel. This is a it's about 155 pages in the Federal Register notice. Gives a lot of really interesting information. I've highlighted a few portions we'll talk about, and then I'll summarize this Federal Register notice, and I'll go to certain pages of the Federal Register notice so you guys can see what we are discussing Now, the rule amends regulations, and what it's going to do is that it's requiring DHS, Department of Homeland Security, is going to require all aliens, right, non-citizens, non-US citizens, you are going to be photographed when you are entering or departing the United States. Before this rule was instated, or currently what's happening is that everybody who's coming in, the simplified arrival, right, that's the process that they're using. Everybody's photographed. But when you are leaving, there's no exit photograph. There's no, CBP is not there doing the exit checks. We've said this several times in some of our videos. So this rule is going to require all non-US citizens to be photographed when they're entering or departing or leaving the United States. And the rule will be effective December 26, 2025. This is a comment period. If you have suggestions or you do not agree with the rule, or you just have comments, you want to comment on the rule, you're free to submit your comments. The directions on how to submit comments are found in the Federal Register notice, and you'll be able to do so online before the comments period ends in November, on November 26th, 2025. Okay, so the first thing is that people are going to be photographed. They want to make sure they see your eyeball picture. We'll look at the purpose of the rule when you are entering and departing the US. It's also going to allow DHS to collect other biometrics from non-exempt immigrants in those contexts, entry and exit. Okay, now the rule also, what it does is it's removed earlier language that limited biometric collection to pilot programs or specific ports. The exit checks were being done as a pilot or as a test in specific airports around the United States, but now they are going to be doing it to all airports, all seaports, land ports, or any authorized point of departure. Okay, so the rules focus is now on exit because the entry is already being done. Now they want to, make sure that even exits are being tracked. When you are leaving the country, they have a picture of who you are. And the point of this, let me go here, guys. And maybe let me share. Let me open this up some more. Let's go here. All right. Now, the point of this rule is, a threefold purpose. Let's come here. DHS through U.S. Customs Border Protection has been collecting biometric data from certain aliens arriving in the U.S. since 2004. So since 2004, CBP has been collecting biometric data. However, currently there's no comprehensive system in place to collect biometrics from aliens who are leaving the country, or let's use non-citizens who are leaving the country. Sometimes when I have an app which I use to listen to some of these writings, and my children keep asking me, why do they call them aliens? That's so insulting. Aliens, it just sounds really strange. And I'm surprised that even 7 and 8-year-olds find calling human beings aliens. It's just mind blowing, because when Biden came, he had said aliens should not be used. So they substituted aliens, and Trump came and he said, no, they should use aliens. The Trump administration said they have to substitute non-citizens with a proper legal term, which is aliens. I'm not sure what the point of that is, but let's go back here and look at what biographic data is. This footnote is very helpful. Okay, now look, the other thing, in fact, let me mention that this rule, can you guys believe that there was a notice of proposed rulemaking as far back on this issue as February 10, 2021? That was when DHS published the notice stating that it was, going to collect biometrics from non-citizens entering and exiting the United States. And this was in 2021. And They received 320 comments in response to this. Some of them were very interesting. They raised issues on privacy, the 14th Amendment. We won't go into the comments part because if you want to read what the comments people submitted and CBP's response or DHS's response, it's from page 37 of this Federal Register notice up till I think it's 155 pages. You'll find all these comments. You can read them. But look at this. Let's look at what is biographic data. Biographic data includes information which is specific to an individual traveler, such as your name, your date of birth, your travel document number, for example, your passport number. These are data elements stored in that traveler's passport, your visa, or lawful permanent residence card, which is your green card. Now look at what biometrics means. Biometrics, on the other hand, refers to forms of identification based on anatomical, physiological, and behavioral characteristics or other physical attributes unique to a person that can be collected, stored, and used to verify the identity of a person. Now, let me look at, let's go to the dictionary definition of anatomical. Let me go to dictionary. Anatomical relates to bodily structure. That's what the dictionary says. It relates to bodily structure. So, for example, they are looking at maybe your fingerprints, which is unique to you, your iris or your eyeball picture, something like that. Okay, now let's look at what physiological means. Physiological, and this is all biometrics. When they're collecting biometrics, okay, physiological means the way in which a living organism or bodily part functions. And then behavioral characteristics or other physical attributes that's unique to you as a person, which can be collected, stored, and used to verify the identity of a person. And so you can see that they are really getting into fine details, like your makeup, your biological makeup, to make sure that nobody can come into the US without the proper documentation or leave. Now look at the purpose of this that I've highlighted in green. Okay, implementing an integrated biometric entry-exit system that compares biometric data of non-citizens collected upon arrival with biometric data collected upon departure. It helps to, number one, address national security concerns arising from the threat of terrorism. Two, the fraudulent use of legitimate travel documentation, meaning, in the past, somebody had a brother, one was called Kwesi, one was called Kweku, but they look alike. Both of them are Nigerians or Ghanaians. They have the same nose, same color of the skin. And the CBP officer or the customs officer at the airport could not tell the difference. And so Kwesi will come with his passport and then send it back through Auntie Naomi to go to maybe Ghana and say, when you go, give it to Kweku for me. Kweku gets the passport, buys his ticket, and comes in with the same, it's not his picture, it's not his picture, it's his brother's picture. But because they look so alike, the officer is like, okay, yeah, come on in. Obviously, those things were curtailed when, after I believe September 11, when they started clamping down on some of these things where they were using some of, going into detail into the biometrics collection. So they don't want the fraudulent use of legitimate travel documentation. That's another purpose for this rule. And non-citizens who remain in the United States beyond the period of authorized stay, visa overstays. Let's say you're a B visa or F1 visa, or you are even here without being admitted or paroled. You came in unlawfully, you jumped the Mexico border, you are in the US. They are saying that if they are not taking the pictures of people when they are exiting, they cannot even keep track of overstays, because if you came in 2025 and you are leaving in 2026, When you are leaving, if they take a picture, then they can determine that, oh, this person came in 2025, he never left, he's now leaving. And also, if they don't have your picture of you leaving or a picture of you leaving when you were supposed to be here for 6 months, then they could then likely assume that you've overstayed if there's no record of you becoming a green card holder because maybe you've gotten married and applied for your green card. Okay, some people will also enter unlawfully. Now, when they're leaving, then government can track that. Oh, this person, we never recorded him entering. So it means he came in without inspection. I'm sorry. All right. So the other thing, the other goal of implementing this is also they want to be able to correct or complete biographic data for travelers. Sometimes some people there's mismatch or some names are spelled wrongly or there's some issue, they can correct those things ultimately. Okay, now they want an integrated biometric entry and exit system so that they can accurately verify a person's identity in order to improve national security. And they want to come or fight attempts by terrorists, people who are using false travel documents to, kind of evade or circumvent or dodge border checkpoints. The other thing is that the integrated biometric entry exit system, they also want to use it to be able to verify that a person who is presenting or showing a travel document, you are the true bearer of that document. And it will help prevent visa fraud and the fraudulent use of legitimate travel documentation, as I have already mentioned. Okay, all right. Now, there's a lot of repetition here, but let me just say it. It says that such a system will also allow DHS to confirm more concretely the identity of non-citizens seeking entry or admission to the U.S. and to verify that they've left the country. By having more accurate border crossing of non-citizens, DHS can more effectively identify overstays and non-citizens who are or were present in the U.S. without being admitted or parole, prevent potential lawful re-entry. That's another thing. They want to be able to prevent potential unlawful re-entry. If you came in without inspection or you came in, you've overstayed and you've exited, now you're trying to come back, they can compare and say, oh, immediately they can see this person was an overstay and they'll prevent potential unlawful re-entry, especially for those who are here without being inspected and admitted. They don't come in with a visa, they come in and then they leave. And when they're leaving, you see, so the thing is that because when they're coming in, they didn't come in with a visa, there's no record of them entering. And so they can leave, there's still no record. And then they can come back. But the government says we're putting a stop to it. When you come in without inspection, when you are leaving, we'll catch you through your picture. And then you cannot come back in unlawfully. It will also make it more difficult for imposters to utilize other travelers' credentials. In addition, performing biometric identity can help DHS reconcile errors, incomplete data. Ultimately, this provides DHS with more reliable information to verify identities to strengthen its ability to identify criminals or suspected and known or suspected terrorists. All right, let's move. It's a lot. There's a lot of other interesting points I'm going to be discussing here. Let's look at this. Now, CBP had in previous years, they've been testing various options to collect biometrics at entry and departure. And the result of this testing is that CBP determined that facial comparison technology is actually the best available method for biometric verification because it's accurate, it's unobtrusive, and it's efficient. So the technology, what it does is that it uses advanced passenger information along with photographs that have already been provided by travelers to the U.S. government for international travel. Okay, so they have your passenger information, your name, along with your pictures that you've submitted. And what they do is that they'll create galleries of facial image templates to correspond with who they're expecting to arrive or they're expecting to depart from the US on a particular flight or voyage. Remember, when you are applying for a US visa, you submit a picture. When you even go for your, for your visa, sometimes they could ask you to take a picture. Well, sometimes it's just the biometrics, but you submit a picture generally. Okay, so once the technology is present, they will use it to create facial image templates that will correspond with your face and your name. So before you arrive at New York International Airport, maybe JFK Airport, they already know that, oh, Rebecca Brown has boarded United Airlines. This is her date of birth. This is what she looks like. And she's going to be appearing before me. Okay, these photographs may be derived from passport applications, visa applications, immigration applications, or interactions with CBP at a prior border inspection. As I told you, when you're applying for your visa application, you have your pictures, a passport application, any immigration application, they will match it. Once the gallery is created based on the advanced information, the facial comparison technology, it will compare a template of a live photograph of the traveler to the gallery of facial image templates. Live photographs are taken where there's clear expectation that travelers will need to provide documentary evidence of their identity. If there's a facial image match, the traveler's identity has been verified. In some cases, fingerprints may also need to be collected, but only as required, so that if they want to link you to a previously collected traveler biometric record. Okay, so CBP has fully implemented its facial comparison system in the commercial air environment through simplified arrival. Okay, so simplified arrival already exists. That's what they are using at all airports for entry. CBP has implemented exit in the air environment primarily through partnerships with airlines at select locations. When it comes to entry, the facial comparison is everywhere. When you're coming in, they do it. But for exit, it's only at select locations throughout the United States when you are exiting. That was for the pilot program. Now, when it comes to sea environment, debarkation for sea, even for land, pedestrian land, if you're coming to a land port, a seaport, airport, these are all, they have different levels of pilots like that they were testing for these various ports. But CBP's plan is to establish a biometric entry-exit system at all ports of entries, air, sea, land. So even if you are trying to enter the US through a hole, they will find you, they'll fish you out, right? If you are trying to exit through another hole, they will fish you out, they'll smoke you out. They don't want there to be any loopholes where people will leave without being photographed. They said that within the next 3 to 5 years, this will be fully implemented at all commercial airports and seaports for both entry and exit. Now, let me see. I think we have to run. There's just a lot of information. Okay. There's a lot of information that I wanted to discuss. Let me see. I think one was on page 25. Let's see. Let me pull that up. Then we can just quickly, the document has a lot of repetition, but it's very comprehensive and helpful. Okay, now look at the facial comparison-based entry process. Historically, prior to admission of a person, if somebody is coming into the US, CBP used a manual process to inspect travel documents, such as passports or visas. These are travel documents, and they'll use that to initiate system checks. And then they'll verify your identity, your travel history, and any law or border enforcement concerns that may require attention. The new primary entry solutions, including the simplified arrival, FBD, mobile primary phase, pedestrian entry, they use biometrics to initiate the transaction and system checks. They use facial comparison as a primary biometric verification modality. That's for the entry. This shift from a biographic document base to a biometric initiated transaction requires travelers to provide facial photographs for identity verification purposes. Now, this enables CBP to more accurately verify identity and citizenship by matching the traveler's photograph with vetted, validated biographic information that is associated with a validated photograph. Is that what I wanted to? Okay, now look at this exit process. This is the facial comparison-based exit process. CBP is using biometric technologies in voluntary partnerships with other federal agencies. These partnerships enable CBP to more effectively verify the identities of individuals entering and leaving the United States. And they want to identify people who are violating the terms of their admission and expedite immediate action when such violations occur. Let me just wrap up so we can take some questions. We are running out of time. We couldn't do half of what we wanted to do, but that's okay. All right. So the key points are that now not only is DHS going to, or CBP is not only going to take photographs of people when they are entering the country, now they are also implementing exit, biometrics when you are exiting, facial comparison based exit process, they want to capture your photograph to see who you are when you entered and to track you. This rule is effective December 26, 2025, and it's to combat terrorism, fraudulent use of documents, to track overstays, and to correct incorrect or incomplete biographic data. The key element of the process is that they're going to be using the facial comparison technology via CBP's. They have a software called the Travelers Verification Service. CBP has realized that the facial comparison technology is very accurate and very good, which is why they want to go ahead with that system of collecting biographics. Inside the documents, there's a point where they even mentioned that the accuracy based on the facial photograph is about 98%. The accuracy is really high. Okay, so fingerprints are still going to be collected in some cases where facial comparison fails. And also now the facial comparison is not going to exclude children and adults, like the biometrics where children under 14, adults under 79, they're not. For the facial comparison, everybody is going to be included. Okay, now prior to this rule, biometric collection for leaving the US was limited. It was not comprehensive. It was in only select airports. Now this rule is closing that gap. It's going to be done everywhere comprehensively. The new rule has removed the pilot program limitations and it's expanding authority to any authorized point of departure from the United States. And this rule makes it compulsory for the CBP to collect information, to collect photographs from non-citizens, all non-citizens, regardless of their age or visa class as well. All right, so if you are leaving or entering the US as a non-citizen, green card holder, visa holder, you should expect that there's going to be routine photograph capture and possibly other biometrics. If you refuse to be photographed, then, when you are leaving or coming into the US, this may constitute inadmissibility or violation of status, which will not be good for you, because once you are inadmissible, once you are not admissible, that is a problem. Okay. Yeah, so now we have to make sure, even when you are now leaving the United States, if you need to speak with an attorney based on what has happened, you came to give birth, you came to work, you did, whatever, maybe certain things happened before you leave, it now becomes very important to consult with an immigration attorney. We are here to assist you before you enter, consult, because there are certain things that you should say, there are certain things that you should do, and if there are certain things you've done, there possibly could be ways to explain and to make sure you mitigate any potential consequences. All of that depends. Excuse me. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah, they talk about the cost. We won't go into that. But the program is supposed to last between 2017 and 2029. And I think, it's the cost of the program has been discounted, but it costs between $993 million to $1.3 billion over the period of 2017 to 2029. And there's a lot more. They break it down some more. Okay, so this rule is going to be effective December 26th, 2025, which is very soon. Okay, all right. It's very important that if you are a non-citizen, you understand that now even leaving the US can raise issues during your biometrics collection, and now it means that they are tracking your, overstays even more closely. International students, visitors, visa holders, you have to make sure that your travel documents match the identity that DHS has on file. Identity verification has increased, biometric based wise. So yes, these are some of the things we'll be breaking down a lot more. We don't have too much time. Each week there's always so much more to talk about than we have time to do. So we'll be taking questions now. If you have questions, please drop them in the comment section, and then we can chat about it. Let me go up. All right, we have Terry Bendecida. Terry Bendecida. Good morning. What is visa T? Please share what documents I need. Yeah, the T visa. If you are the victim of labor trafficking or sex trafficking, and you're here in the United States, we can apply for something called a T non-immigrant status. Usually, it would require us reporting to law enforcement, some type of law enforcement, either the police or labor, some type of labor enforcement or the FBI, because if you've been trafficked for sex or you've been trafficked for work, then it's a crime. And so long as you can report it and kind of help the government to solve it, then they're willing to give you T non-immigrant status. Once you get T non-immigrant status, it's valid for a number of years, I believe about 3 years. And then you can apply for a green card after that process. And once you have the T status, you can actually work. You get work authorization. So this is one of, in fact, this is one of the humanitarian-based applications that will allow you to apply for a green card even when you are out of status, right? So it means that you can be out of status, you are undocumented, and you can use the T status to get to become a US citizen. Okay, so for T, if you are the victim of severe form of trafficking, then you can okay, so the T non-immigrant status is usually for 4 years. And then when you're applying for the green card, that's when you have to show at least 3 years of continuous physical presence. So it's such an amazing opportunity for people who are out of status. Please contact us and they will review your eligibility. We can't tell you what documents you need without understanding what happened and whether you are eligible. But okay, contact us, Terry, and we'll assist you. We file T visas and we help clients with that. Francis Dare says, what about adjustment of status from B1, B2 with an AP5 application? we've said this several times. EB5, if you have about $800,000 or a little above $1 million, you can invest in in a business in the US, create jobs for 10 people. You're either doing it through the regional centers or through another means, and then you can get the EB5 approval, which is an underlying immigrant visa classification, and then you can apply for your green card. Okay, you can apply for your green card, but you have to have some good money, and the money has to be through a good. Let me show you guys. I have EB5 info. Oh yeah, I have it here. Let me just share my screen. The EB5 process. Let me share this that we've shared with some clients in the past. Let's just run over it really quickly. Let me see if I can do this one here. Okay, so this is green card through EB5. Let's just run through it really, really fast, and then we go. So EB5, so this is USCIS administers the EB5 immigrant investor program. It was created in 1990 to stimulate the US economy through job creation and capital investment by foreign investors. Three main elements: you have to invest capital, you have to invest in a new commercial enterprise, you have to create jobs, 10 jobs. So you are either investing $800,000 in underserved areas in the US, like areas which are low in income economic wise, or $1,050,000 in other areas. Okay, so you can do, the money must be lawfully sourced, all that. So you're either doing direct investment or indirect investment through the regional centers. Let me give examples of projects. So, people, real estate, residential, commercial, hotels, apartments, homes, office buildings, gas stations, 7-Elevens, a lot of them come through that. Hospitality, hotel, restaurants, resorts. So if you have that money, contact us and then we can go over the EB5. Usually for these consults, we have our financial investor along with the attorneys, and then we'll help you determine how you can do the EB5 process. Okay, very, very possible. Hassan Mahama Ed says, "Hi, please, I want to book an appointment with you to discuss about my filing. Can you arrange that?" Yes, we can arrange that. Please contact us on 802-780-0564. Our number is right there, or you can just Google AK Poku Law and call us and set up a consult. Please, if you call, you don't get us, call us, text us, DM us, and somebody will get back to you. Or you can also email us, hello@akpoku.law. Jonas Oposunto on LinkedIn says, "Wow, very insightful information. Thank you so much." Let me see. Okay. Precious on YouTube says, "Hello, I'm new to your page. I just have a question. Do you also give updates on spouse visas out as well?" Yes, we absolutely do. Thank you for joining our page. Thank you very, very much. Yes, we do give a lot of that. Please check out our videos. And if you have specific questions, you can ask. Jonas Ofosunto says, "Wow, initially everything looked scary, but currently understanding what Trump government's immigration administration is doing, I think it is in the right direction. If you are genuine immigrants, why worry?" Okay. Well, we can understand that they are trying their best for their country, but even genuine immigrants are being swept up, and there's a lot of unfairness going on. It's not just being a genuine immigrant. You can still end up on the wrong side of the law. People have been screwed up by very simple issues. And so it's not always very easy or black and white that, oh, you're a genuine immigrant, so why worry? The system can make you worry because it's just the odds are really stacked against you and it can be hard. Okay, Al Hilal says, "Good morning. Hi, friend. you help me, T visa processing support is very needed. Yes, we can absolutely help you. Please contact us on our phone, our business number. Sipu says, what's of J visa? We also share a lot of information on J visa, the waivers needed, and all that. Okay, let me see if we have some questions on Instagram. The Insta babies. Let's see here. Splen NYB says, lawyer, can you find out about the status of the case if the person doesn't have the case number? Can the person's full name and date of birth be used? Do you have your A number? Not just the case number. And what kind of case is it? Because sometimes if it's with USCIS and you need your receipt notice, which is like a 13-digit tracking number. If it's with the National Visa Center, then you will likely need your invoice ID number and case ID number. Immigration court, you need your A number, which is like a 9 digits, 8 digit, can be 8, can be 9, can be 10 digit. So what type of case, first of all, what type of case is it? And then we can determine which federal agency it's with, and then we can go from there. But yes, that's absolutely possible. We can help you. We can sometimes even pull up all your records and see what we need to see. So just contact us on our office line, set up a time, and then we will assist you. All right, guys, thank you again for your audience and your company today. We really appreciate it. We don't take it for granted. So please, guys, if you have not followed our pages across social media, please make sure you hit that follow button, AK Poku across social media. Engage with our posts, share our posts, make sure that you share this with your friends and families. Somebody may be needing help, but they don't know who to turn to, because now immigration has become very dangerous. Today is Halloween. Christine Oem has said that she's not pausing ICE enforcement this Halloween. ICE is not stopping. They are going all out to, they're going to continue to raid places. I don't know what they're planning. So okay, so just make sure that you stay safe, and you just stay safe from any trouble. Just make sure you're not in a bad place, in a wrong place at the wrong time. All right, guys, thank you for joining. So enjoy yourselves, have a great weekend. Oh, Saucepan on TikTok says, can you pin your number here? Our number should be on our bio page. For some reason, I'm not able to pin anything, but 802-780-0564. Just Google AK Poku Law, and you'll find our number on Google. Just call us or DM us. And I'm not sure why I'll not be able to pin, but our number is on our, on our profiles across our social medias. Thank you guys for joining. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye, Facebook and